Hello and welcome to another video. Today it is another day of doing studies, and today we're studying another expression meme. So I'm gonna go ahead and throw it up for you guys right here and you can follow along. We're actually pretty zoomed in on the footage. I don't know if you guys could tell, but the reason for that is I only ended up doing half of the expressions, so there's only 8 little heads that I'm drawing today, just because I felt like I didn't want to do any more than that. I hope that doesn't bother you guys. The video is still like 15 minutes long, like 13 minutes, I think. So I feel like that's still a pretty good amount of time to get your own little doodle going on. But I'm gonna be honest. This is gonna be a little bit embarrassing. I kind of didn't want this video to take me too long because I have to record the sketchbook tour today also. And the reason why typically I would do it on Thursday, but I don't want to do it on Thursday because the new first half of Bridgerton comes out on Thursday. So sorry that this is actually going to date this video, but I really don't care. So yeah, it's super embarrassing for me to say. Yes, I do like to watch Bridgerton. Listen, for a while I had this phase where I get embarrassed about things that I like. I try not to get embarrassed by things that I like anymore. So yeah. I'm really excited to watch the episodes when they come out. I'm one of the people who likes to binge watch, so it really pissed me off when they're like, we're going to split the season into 2 parts. That shit pisses me off. I want to watch the whole season all at once, damn it, okay? I'm not one of those kind of people who's like, oh, it's a full season drop. Well, I'll just wait week by week and watch 1 episode per week. Or the type of people who are like, I like it when they only drop 1 episode per week. I don't like that shit, okay? I want to watch it all at once, and then I can have it all. And I can revel in it for months and years even when I wait for the next season, okay? That's what I like to do. Some people are like, oh, but then you're not talking about it with other people, and then it's like it's probably better for the show if it drops week by week. I will say that, yes, it is probably better for the show if it drops week by week. That way people like it increases like the amount of people watching it and the intrigue around it and stuff. I don't care about that shit, okay? I want it all now. I want it now. So yeah, that's why I kind of had to get the sketchbook tour out of the way. So that's why this video is kind of short. Moving on, today's character that we are drawing is actually my OC, Paxton. Paxton is actually one of my OCs. I feel like I don't really talk about him too much. He is in the whole friend group with the nerds and the jocks guys, the college group or whatever. It's so vague every time I bring it up. I'm gonna, one of these days, I'm gonna make a video talking about like the story and for my OCs and each story that these guys play into, like those guys, and then my mafia couple OC, and then I have some other characters like Hope in them. Eventually I'm going to make a video on each of them. I don't know when, because that takes a lot of planning, and I don't really plan these videos out too far in advance because I'm lazy. But yeah, so Paxton is another one of those characters I don't really talk about too much. He is technically inside of the main group of characters. Like I said, Katsuo is the main character of their story, but I did plan for the stories to have like these little spin-offs, because they did start off as like contemporary romances, and then I was like, well, what if it was like a vampire romance instead? And now I'm like, I don't know. So I'm going back and forth on them, right? And so each of the characters was going to have a follow-up story. They were going to be like a series, and there was like 5 of them for all the couples to get together. And so Paxton, when I think about the lineup, it was going to be Katsuo, then Cricket, and then following Cricket, I do believe it was Paxton, and then Cole is the last one in the group. I don't know, Cole, and then Maya, who is Maya. You guys have never even seen Maya. I haven't drawn Maya for you guys just because Maya exists mostly in my mind in the ether. So yeah, that was the order for like their spinoffs, and then Maya's spinoff would spin off into another set of spinoffs, which is super annoying. When I think that's kind of annoying when books do that, but also it's kind of fun. It's like, and then sometimes you see like the old characters see like pop up. I don't know if you guys can tell, but I do like romance books. And so I like some of the tropes where it's like, oh, this side character, they get a love story, and then that side character gets a love story. Oh my god. Okay, I'm just a girl, okay? I like romance stories. So that's what I was thinking of with them. And so Paxton was like 3rd in line. But I really don't draw Paxton too much. I do like Paxton a lot. He's supposed to be like this sort of cutesy sort of guy. Like small, feeble. He's like, oh my gosh, that guy, he's so cute. He's like the little nerdy guy, and he's like, oh, he's so shy and stuff like that. And that's just who he is. He's just supposed to be one of those cutesy kind of characters. He I don't know if I would say he has any sort of depth beyond that, just because I have not established his character too much past that in my own mind. I do try to write for him sometimes, but the expressions that I'm doing for him today, I feel like don't kind of fit him. But as I was doing them, I was like, these actually got me thinking a little bit more about him, and I'm like, okay. I still don't feel like any of these expressions really fit him too much. Well, some of them, the more scared ones do, because like I said, he is a sort of feeble kind of guy. He is like a kind of a scaredy cat, doesn't really stick up for himself, prefers not to be in crowds, would rather spend time at home type person. So the more subdued sort of faces fit him a little bit more, the more scared faces. I feel like when I do the angry faces, those don't really fit him. And so I think this one that I'm working on right now is sort of an angry face, but I add this like little sweat drop to show that he's not like super confident with being angry. I don't think I've ever drawn or written Paxton to ever be angry. Not to say that he doesn't get angry, because there's no person on earth who never gets angry. That's unrealistic, right? There's some people who might not be able to express their anger like through their expressions, like through their facial expressions, but people get angry even if they don't show it to you. People get pissed off, right? And so I was like, these expressions don't really fit him too much, but it did get me thinking that maybe I should either try to write him as angry, just so I can see kind of what that feels like maybe when he's mad he cries. I know when I get mad I cry. I try not to do that, just because if you start crying when you're pissed off, people either feel bad for you or they like think that they got the upper hand on you, and then both ways pisses me off, it's like, I'm pissed, I'm mad, don't laugh at me, and I'm mad, don't feel bad for me, damn it, it's not for pity, I'm trying to yell at you. And so maybe he could be that type of character, or he would be the type of guy who gets mad and then he just like in the moment he could be like taking it and internalizing it, and so when he gets by himself he could just like let it all out, like scream or something. I don't know if you guys ever scream when you get mad. I try not to do that, just because I really don't like to scream. First off, it hurts my ears, and secondly, it does not make me feel better. It actually makes me feel worse. I don't know if you guys are like that too. Mostly I just internalize my sort of anger, and I feel like maybe Paxton should do that too. It's part of the thing of making OCs, is sometimes you force like your own like bad habits onto them. So maybe Paxton is the type of person who internalizes his anger and holds grudges. I know it's really bad to say, but I am the type of person who holds a grudge. I really try not to do that. But sometimes I find myself doing it over like slight things. I'm like, wow, that person cut me off on the highway, and I'll think about that for like 5 years. I'm being so serious right now. There was a guy who was a jerk to me on the highway like 2-3 years ago, and I still think about it. And I'm like, that guy does not think about me past that one day, but I think about that guy all the time, and that is not a good thing to do, you guys. You gotta let stuff go, okay? It's gonna weigh on my soul forever, and it shouldn't. Okay. Anyway, moving on. I feel like I've kind of been phoning it in on these Thursday study sessions lately. I haven't been planning them too far in advance, or really super thinking too much about what I want to do. I feel like I talk about this every week, and I kind of get down on myself for the videos I put out. I don't know if you guys like these videos, to be honest. I know some of you do. I do get some comments sometimes, and I appreciate all the comments I get in all the videos. And every time one of you guys watches my videos, sometimes I feel like, I just don't know. I feel like I'm doing a bad job, but I feel like that's my imposter syndrome. I don't know if everybody has imposter syndrome. Maybe that's the imposter syndrome, putting that on me. I mean, I guess if you had imposter syndrome, the syndrome would make you feel like nobody feels that way, right? It'd be like only you feel this way because you suck, right? I don't know, but my imposter syndrome kind of makes me feel like I'm either talking to the void or I'm doing a worse job than I actually am, because like that even goes to say, like, when I'm at my job, I feel like, oh, I'm doing so bad, and everybody will be like, oh wow, you're doing so good, and I'm like, I am. I feel like I'm fucking it up all the time, and it's like, no, I'm very rarely fucking it up. I have to like get over that, because things are never as bad as they seem. I'm always like the opposite of hyping myself up, I guess, is putting myself down, which is, I don't know, maybe that's, everybody goes through that, which is kind of relatable, I guess. Just think about it this way, it's like, wow, we're all going through it, but we're all going through it together, and that makes it a little bit easier sometimes. And maybe you're not going through it. If you're not going through it, I'm so happy for you. You know what, I actually feel like I'm not super going through it. I just feel like I've been getting, as I get older, I feel like people, I don't know, I feel like as I get older, I feel better, and just in general about life. I feel like when I was younger, I felt like every day, I felt like I can't get older, like I reached a certain age, and it's like, I felt like I was like never supposed to be this age or whatever. and like I should have like stopped being alive, which sounds weird, like not in the sense where I felt like I should have like ended it, but in the sense it's like I shouldn't exist past this age, kind of felt like that. But then I was like, but now I kind of feel like, yeah, sure, I was always meant to be 27, kind of, it's like it's hard to see yourself in the future, but then when you get there, it's kind of like, yeah, I was always supposed to be here. And I just feel like that's a good thing about aging. Like I said, I'm 27. Yeah, sorry, I had to figure it out for a second. I'm 27. And so sometimes it feels like, should I really be at this place in my life when I'm 27? But also it's like, who gives a shit? And so it's like, hey, I'm making my YouTube videos, and as long as some people watch them, that's a good place to be. Okay, maybe some people feel like, oh, you're 27, you should be further, or maybe if you had started earlier, yada yada yada. It's like, whatever, I'm doing it now, and that's all it should really matter. It shouldn't really matter how many people are watching. Not that I don't appreciate you guys, I do appreciate you guys, but it's like none of that stuff really matters. What kind of really matters is just that I'm doing it. And so if I ever post a video and I'm like, oh, it only got so many views, I'll be like, well, at least I got some views, So yeah, that's kind of how I feel about it now. But I'm trying to make sure that my imposter syndrome doesn't beat me up too badly, just by reminding myself of that. And I feel like every time I make a video, it turns into like some motivational speech or something. I promise it's not supposed to be a motivational speech. It's just like when I'm sitting here and talking to myself, these are the sorts of things that sort of kind of pop up in my head. I know that the videos are for you guys after I post them, but when I'm talking, I'm sort of kind of like just talking to me more than I'm talking to you. I don't really imagine anybody else in the room, like I'm talking to somebody else in the room. I sort of kind of just think of it as my own inner ramblings. I talk to myself all the time, sometimes under my breath, but mostly in my own mind. Like I narrate what I'm doing, and I kind of talk to myself sometimes in the second person. I hope that's not strange. It probably isn't, because people always think that they're weird, and then you say it out loud and someone else is like, yeah, I do that too. And so I feel like nobody is doing anything that's really considered weird. I mean, some people are weird as fuck, but I feel like they're in the minority. I think most people are relatively normal. Anyway, we're coming up on the end of the video, so I guess I should spend a little bit of time actually talking about the artwork. I sort of kind of talked about Paxton himself, but I didn't really talk about my materials. So I'm using the Ecoline brush pen, which is pretty much my normal go-to pen for coloring in at the end. But the pen that I used was not a normal High-Tech C. I could not for the life of me find my purple High-Tech C. I don't know where it is. It's around my room somewhere. I feel like I always lose the purple one, even though it's like one of the ones I use the least, because purple is not one of my preferred colors. Don't really like purple that much. Purple and red, sort of kind of not my thing. But I decided to use purple because Paxton's color is purple. Purple for Paxton. I did not do that on purpose. I just realized that I did that. But anyway, I'm actually using a Pilot juice pen. I really do like Pilot pens. The High-Tech C's are also Pilot pens. They're just a different subsect of Pilot pens, and this is a Pilot juice in 0.38, so it's a little bit bigger than I typically use, but that's okay. I bought these after I found out the High-Tech C's were kind of when they were discontinued, and I had to buy a pack of pens, and I kind of freaked out. I like these. They're not my favorite, but they work in a pinch. And with their click pens, and I'm not a super big fan of click pens. Anyway, we're pretty much at the end of the video. I kind of feel like I should have stopped rambling and talked more about what I was doing, but we live and we learn, Anyway, that's the end of the video. Thank you guys for spending this time with me. I'll go ahead and see you in the next one. Bye.